I was initially fascinated by the script because it was clear to me that your sympathies could lie with either the protagonist, Bruce, or the antagonist, Samantha. When we first started showing a rough cut of the film to friends and family, we were really gratified and fascinated by the fact that a lot of people really sympathize with Bruce when he is supposed to be the antagonist of the film. So we thought that was a really interesting thing to explore. I was also excited about the idea of exploring a character's guilt, a guilt-ridden conscience, in sort of a thriller kind of way. I have never had a direct experience with a drunk driving tragedy. However, when we started showing the film to people, I was really surprised at how many people came up to me and said they had either direct experience or had friends of friends that had gone through something kind of similar to this, where someone had caused a personal tragedy to someone else and had a lot of guilt over it over the years. So we found that it was an issue that people really emotionally latched onto when they watched the film. Working with Jay and Rachel was really easy. We had a very expedited shooting schedule. We shot the whole thing in about 15 days. And they were so professional and so dedicated that we were able to get a whole lot done in a very short period of time. And it wasn't easy. They were dealing with some pretty heavy emotional issues. These scenes were very intense. There was a lot of anger and intensity and conflict in a lot of these, in the whole movie, but especially in some of the scenes we did towards the end. And these guys were able to nail it quickly over and over again. So that made it really easy on me as a first-time director, dealing with actors that were such professionals and so dedicated to getting it right. Rachel Boston has an extraordinary acting range. Most of what she's done in the past has been comic, comedian type material. She was in Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, and she's been on a lot of sitcoms over the years. She took the role, I think, to explore a different side of her talent. This is certainly not a comedic part. And she was, I think, fascinated to try and explore something different and do something dramatic and really explore this different side of her ability. And she was totally dedicated to it. She was about half the shooting schedule, half the film, she's in handcuffs in this wheelchair. And we used real handcuffs. We had some stunt cuffs that she actually refused to wear because she felt like it got her in touch with the character to actually have these real handcuffs on. And I can tell you they are not comfortable. Handcuffs are not designed to be comfortable, I suppose. And she was in these for a lot of hours during the day, never complained, oftentimes wanted to stay in character when we were shooting these very intense moments. She dedicated 110% more to this project, and it's so much better for having her in it. When we first met, Rachel told me she thought her purpose in life was making people laugh. And she is fantastic at doing that. She's got a huge, just bubbly personality that draws you into her. And so I think she took this to try something different. In fact, I know she did. But it was not easy. It was not easy. I think she was a little nervous about trying something like this and putting herself out there on film in something that's so raw and so intense. The very first day we shot down in Shreveport, we shot the shower scene. And that obviously is a very intense moment where she's broken and she's letting everything out and giving into this guilt that she's experienced over the last year. And it was the very first thing we shot. It was the very first day of shooting. It was the very first day I'd ever directed, very first day we worked with the crew. And those first few takes were tough. You know, I think there was we were still establishing some of this trust. We didn't have a lot of time to rehearse, and so we were really getting to know each other as we shot. Once we got 3 or 4 takes into it, and we started feeling comfortable with each other, which happened very quickly, the emotions just spilled out, and she was able to find those moments in a way that was authentic and real and honest, and it was really a joy to watch, and it made, I think, the experience easier for me. And I think inadvertently shooting that scene first really made the rest of the scenes easy, because we shot that moment where she had to totally give it out and unload the first day. And once we had done that and she trusted me and I knew she could do it, we were off to the races, and the rest of the shoot was easy. Jay Walters is one of the most genuine, nice, friendly guys I've ever met. He chose for his film debut, really, to play a very dark, compromised character. When I first met him, I'd already read the script, and I thought to myself, I'm not sure this guy can play the part. When we started working together, he found deep inside him some well of emotion to play a character who had spent a year grieving and a year stalking this other person in his life that he blamed for the death of his family. And the way he channeled that every shooting day was really amazing. He's got a ton of talent, and I'm really excited to see where his career takes him. Considering the budget we had and the resources, we had a very short, expedited shooting schedule. And because Jay and Rachel were so well prepared, so professional, we actually ended up having a lot of time to improvise. And a lot of that improvisation got into the film. In fact, it ended up changing the ending. The original ending was a little bit more, the twist that it was a dream was still there. But the way her dream ended changed, I think, to be a much more powerful image with some of that improvisation. A lot of that came from Rachel. The crew we had made my job a lot easier. Considering this was a low-budget film, a lot of these people that were working behind the scenes were stepping up into jobs that they had not done before or only done a few times. Our cinematographer, John Frost, who's done a lot of music videos and I think one smaller feature, came in and really did a lot with a little in a very short amount of time. A lot of this film takes place in Bruce's house, and he was able to make that feel claustrophobic and eerie and constricted in a way that really helped, I think, the tone of the film. We wanted to start off the film sort of visually with more staid, kind of locked off camera work, and as we get closer and closer to the end, we started using more handheld, so it started feeling more sort of an action-oriented, more dynamic kind of feel to it. We also wanted the colors to evolve, and so what we did was start the film with a little bit of a brighter palette, because she's kidnapped during the daytime. And then when it goes towards the end, we tried to make it go darker and get to a more eerie and, you know, hellish kind of dark feel once she gets to the basement and the final sort of aspect of the dream, the final moments of the dream. And then when she wakes up, we definitely started shooting handheld. We made it more bright. We wanted to definitely have a demarcation between when the dream stopped and when she woke up and realized that she had not gone through this and that she, you know, could sort of move forward with her life when she got over this issue. I really love the twist that the Bruce that we see during the course of the movie, the violent, dark, murderous, you know, angry Bruce, is really just Sam's guilty conscience. And that's not known as you're watching it until the end when it's revealed that it's a dream. I found that ending, when I read the script, I found the ending powerful, that the real Bruce, the man who did lose his family, lose everything, because of one seemingly inconsequential decision that Sam made, was willing to forgive her, whereas she had not been able to forgive herself. To me, that was a powerful emotion and a powerful ending that was really worth exploring, and especially being able to do that in a thriller genre film.